Sagely investors, welcome back to the channel. My name is Crass, and these are the things that you hear from people who have never bought a share before or who are too scared to invest in the stock market. Investing in shares is no better than gambling at the casino. Only experts make money from the stock market. It's too risky. You need millions to make millions. The market's rigged. I'm just going to get screwed. It's too complicated. I don't have the time to research and analyze stocks. Forget about stocks. Property is the way to go. Wait, what exactly is the stock market? Now, all of those characters share something in common, and it's not their age, gender, or skin color. It's not a lack of computer skills. It's not a lack of a university degree. What they share in common is a belief system. It is a belief system where knowledge is limited and finite rather than the reality, which is that knowledge is unlimited and infinite. If that sounds like someone you know, share this video with them because they need to hear this message. And if that sounds like you, watch this video until the end because you will learn about the 3 essential principles that you must accept in order to change your belief system, which will naturally result in taking action and taking that first step to buying your first stock. Look guys, I do get it. Investing in stocks can appear to be incredibly complex and risky to someone who has never done it before. If anything, the sum of complexity and risk equals discouragement. Now, if that's you, then it's perfectly normal to feel that way. What we don't understand, we fear. And for good reason. Jumping into the stock market without the right knowledge or tools can be a recipe for disaster. But the real key behind that statement is that there is no right knowledge for you. There is no scientific sequence of reading materials, online courses, and tutorials that will make you a successful investor. Period. If you take anything away from this video, then let that be it. Don't believe people who tell you that they have the single source of truth. You must forge your own path in this. And that is principle number 1. So, if you're an absolute beginner, how do you know when you're ready to actually place that first trade? Perhaps it's when you know the lingo, the terminologies, the definitions. Or perhaps it's when you've completed a course or read the right books. Maybe your friend logged into their account and showed you how easy it is. The fact is, that question is misleading, because if I've learned anything from life, it's that waiting to be ready for something usually just results in missed opportunities. So rather than make this video about what you specifically need to know as a beginner, or a bland step-by-step guide on how to literally buy a stock, I thought it would be better to talk about fundamental and essential guiding principles. Remember, we're trying to change your belief system here. So without turning this into a self-improvement video, let's continue. You already know that you must forge your own path. That's principle number 1. That simply means that you must take responsibility. Take responsibility for your education and for your actions. Just do the work. Outsourcing the work to someone else usually results in underperformance and a significant lack of control. So take control from your very first investment and commit to forging your own path. In doing so, over time, you will naturally and inevitably discover what works best for you. Let's move on to the second principle, which has to do with time and applied effort. Malcolm Gladwell, author of the book Outliers, popularized the idea of the 10,000-hour rule. If you want to master playing the guitar, practice for 10,000 hours. If you want to master operating an excavator, dig trenches for 10,000 hours. The same goes for making it big on YouTube or becoming the best investor you can possibly be. In other words, attaining investment mastery. Principle number 2 is that you must seek to master your investments. You're the boss of your money. You're the general, and the dollars are your troops. Your stock portfolio is an expression of your strategic thinking. If your vision and planning of the future is hazy, your strategies will be weak. Your portfolio will be a house of cards. This is why principle number 2 is so important, because it forces you to firstly envision what mastery might look like and then ask yourself the question of how you're going to get there. If you follow this principle, it will not only cover you for understanding the stock market and investment principles, but also understanding yourself along the way. And if you fall short of mastery, you've still probably done the best that you can possibly do. Guys, if you're enjoying this video, I want you to confidently tap that like button right now. Really appreciate it. So the inherent point behind the 10,000 hour rule is that you must get that first hour up on the board to start your progress. Without going from 0 to 1, you'll never go from 1 to 10,000. Never. It's like building a house out of 10,000 bricks. Some people spend years and even decades at the architectural and theoretical phase before even laying the first brick. Does that sound familiar? While everyone else around you are building houses or have already built several, you're still reading about bricklaying. That comes down to the third and final principle, which glues the first two, and that is quite simply that you must be realistic. The first realization that I believe is very important is that taking responsibility, forging your own path, and seeking to attain mastery can all seem like very nebulous and very high-level concepts at the beginning. So principle number 3 is all about having realistic expectations. You can't expect to change your belief system overnight, and you can't expect to attain mastery in a year or even 5. But a more realistic expectation might sound something like this. I know nothing about shares right now, except for the fact that the very wealthy in society all own them. I don't know what to invest in, but if I at least start, then I'll be making my next decision from a slightly more informed position. I'll likely make a better decision because my knowledge and experience has expanded and improved. This kind of internal dialogue is really where you want to be at. It clearly demonstrates a shift in that fixed belief system to something more open and flexible. Such a person understands and knows that there will be a lot of hard work ahead of them, which can be represented by the 10,000 hour rule. So, to bring it all together, these 3 principles are the reason why you hear professionals tell you that the sooner that you start investing, the better your performance will be in the long run. And what these guys are talking about is compound interest and the effect of compound growth. But what they really talk about, and what I really hope that you guys have understood that I've been talking about in this video, is that your decisions also compound over time. So if your decisions get better with time as your knowledge and experience expands and improves, then you'll get a doubling of that compound effect. As always, thanks for watching and invest sagely.